Hey, what is going on, Guardians? I hope you all are having yourselves a wonderful and reverent morning on this Memorial Day. We'll start things off right there. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Today's a day when we recognize and understand the sacrifices made by our armed forces here in the United States of America. And really just take the time to say thank you to all of those who've served their country, putting it all on the line so that we can continue to enjoy life as we do. I've got a great respect for soldiers out there, so this Memorial Day, we take the time to say thank you and remember those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Alright, let's move on into some gaming stuff today. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Iron Banner in this video. Just Iron Banner in Season 3, how it's kind of set up right now, what I like about it, what I dislike about it, and some things that I do believe could probably use a little bit of a change, some kind of addressing as the event-based Crucible mode goes forward. So of course, Iron Banner has been live this past week. It disappears tomorrow at reset. And for the most part, it's the same Iron Banner that we experienced back in Season 2. It is 6v6, it's control, there's a lot of fire teams going around, and if you're on PC and you're a solo player, sometimes it can be a little bit rough. But for the most part, I like the way Iron Banner has been structured in Season 3. I think that the 6v6, I think it works pretty well. We still need an overall drop, I believe, in global time to kill for most weapons to really make the most of that. I think when you have 6v6 in control, especially with a PvP game mode in D2, it really highlights the kind of team shooting meta problems that we've got in Destiny 2 right now, even more so than 4v4 does. So I would still very much like to see a change there, where you can actually go in and schmelt people. Because right now, there's only a few guns that are really capable of it. Stuff like the Vigilance Wing and the Graviton Lance and maybe even the Crimson. Got a review working on that Pulse Rifle hand cannon coming out pretty soon. Been enjoying it. And that's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame that only exotics are able to do that because they kind of limit your loadout a little bit. So yeah, I do hope that, we've got Crucible Labs coming up this week. I do hope that sometime in the future, we do start to experience a different sandbox, with more powerful primary weapon play. Just to hopefully allow you to make a few plays in there. But the matchmaking in Iron Banner has been a definite source of headaches and head scratching. That's one thing that hasn't changed in Iron Banner since its inception. I don't know if you Guardians play on PC, but on PC, solo queuing is pretty rough. Basically, a day hasn't gone by when I've been playing Iron Banner where the matchmaking has just thrown me into all kinds of wonky matches, usually up against fire teams of 4 or 5 other players, sometimes just throwing me into games, even after coming off of a hot losing streak, into games where there's no hope of survival for me or my team. The matchmaking is definitely kind of out of whack right now. I know they made a statement about that the matchmaking algorithms are kind of messed up and that they will be addressing it, but they won't be done before Iron Banner finishes. So hopefully they've got that in place before the next Iron Banner comes around, because when you're a solo player in this specific PvP sandbox environment, getting thrown up against a coordinated 4 stack doesn't always mean the death of you, but it certainly does more often than not in D2. If this were D1 where a single player could make plays and take out an entire team just via skilled primary play, maybe things would be a little bit different, but unfortunately that's not what we've got at this moment, and it's definitely made matchmaking a bit frustrating right now. I played a little bit on console and didn't notice it quite as much, very likely because of the much larger player pool, the much larger population on the console versions of Destiny 2. But certainly on PC, you really feel how small that population is when you keep getting thrown in with the same groups of people over and over and over again. Kind of makes me wish Iron Banner were just Clash this time around, because kind of trying to corral some Blueberry teammates into actually running the objective while we're all getting just spawn trapped thanks to the 6v6 nature of Iron Banner, it's pretty rough. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about when it comes to Iron Banner this week. What I really wanted to talk about were the rewards, because of course, we've got a much different reward system within Iron Banner this time around. And I've got some things that I like and some things that I dislike. So we'll start off with the positive there. I love that there are rewards tied to reaching rank within Iron Banner. This is something Destiny's been experimenting with basically since Season 2. And they've really expanded upon that when it comes to the Iron Banner. I mean, we've got weapons, we've got ornaments, we've got ships, we've got sparrows, we've got emblems, and all kinds of stuff that are tied into the Iron Banner engram system, and now even tied into the just earning ranks within the Iron Banner. As a matter of fact, I think most, if not all, of the Season 3 weaponry is a part of the unlock system for reaching specific ranks. I really like that. I really like that you can just earn ranks within the Iron Banner and then just go and pay Glimmer to pick up certain weapons. Because, of course, one of the problems with Iron Banner back in the day was that it, very heavily relied upon RNG to reward players. You weren't guaranteed to get the weapon that you want. And on some level, I like that because, of course, there's a grind there. Of course, that grind was elongated by the prevalence of random rolls back in Destiny 1. But in D2, we have static rolled weapons, so once you get a gun, you get it for good. And when you run Iron Banner and you're just trying to get the hero's burden and you can't get the hero's burden, it definitely forms a bit of frustration. And I like that, if you've played a lot of the Iron Banner, you turn in a lot of tokens, you've built up a lot of ranks, that you can pick and choose the specific weapons that you want to get. That's definitely going to keep me coming back until I can earn them all. And to kind of compound on that, Iron Banner has seen a change with the armor system. Of course, previously, especially in D2, Iron Banner armor has been like top tier stuff, some of the best looking gear in the game. And certainly when it comes to ornaments, I think the Iron Banner ornaments are probably the best looking ornaments within Destiny 2. And when it comes to Iron Banner right now, we know that there's no new armor in Season 3. Bungie did something rather interesting, since they rather than make a new armor set, what they just did was take the Season 2 armor set and say, okay, if you've already got that armor set, we've got a brand new set of ornaments that you can apply to the Iron Banner armor to get a different look. I really like that. Mainly because armor has no real use in Destiny 2 other than, just the visual aesthetics of it. So I don't really feel like I'm missing out on any sort of new gear, because if you're someone who's upset about there being no new specific armor, that the new armor gear is really just ornaments, what would the difference be if they added a new Season 3 exclusive armor set? You would just have to grind for it. It wouldn't really make any difference. It would just look different. I think if we're not going to be having, any sort of malleable perks on armor sets, then yeah, I would prefer to just have one set of armor for this event gear and then earn different ornaments for it, which you can do by just turning in ranks and completing certain challenges like getting 100 super kills or 100 power weapon kills. It's really not that hard at all. And of course, the ornaments themselves look fantastic. I think that's been a really great change. But one thing that I'm really not happy with when it comes to the Iron Banner is the overall utility of the gear. There's really not much use for it. When it comes to Iron Banner weapons, a few of them are pretty good, like I think it's Yoram's Claw, the Pulse Rifle, the Hero's Burden, the Submachine Gun is really good. But most of them are just, they just range from to okay on the meta scale. But something that really bothers me is the fact that Iron Banner in no way, shape, or form grants you any sort of powerful gear. Now, this is actually a pretty big complaint. If you can remember back in Destiny 1, Iron Banner was the way a lot of players got to max level. If they weren't raid players, Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris were the game modes that they played to kind of get themselves caught up with people who ran the raid every single week. And that is noticeably absent within Destiny 2. I think it's a real shame. We've already got a huge milestone problem in D2, where when you finish your milestones for the week, you really have no incentive left to play. And an event, a week-long event, a limited time event like Iron Banner, really should have taken the place of that. I don't see why doing the daily challenges for Lord Saladin doesn't reward you with a powerful engram. I don't see why reaching certain ranks within the Iron Banner doesn't reward you with a powerful engram, or just getting post-game drops doesn't reward you with an engram that's at least at your light level. That's certainly the way it was in Destiny 1, and I'd imagine that the argument for not having that in D2 is the fact that, power doesn't matter within the Iron Banner anymore, which is, also kind of another big change from Destiny 1. I understand why it was made in Destiny 2, but at the same time, it kind of guts some of the utility when you mix all this together. It guts some of the utility of the Iron Banner. So there's only a few weapons that you're really trying to get after. Of course, there's new ornaments, but no real new armor. And none of the gear that you're getting from this PvP event, this super sweaty PvP event, by the way, are gonna be anywhere near your power level. that kind of limits my desire to grind for it. If I could get powerful engrams at least like once a day or once every other day from completing challenges for Iron Banner, which really I don't think is too much to ask when it comes to a week-long event like this, I would be grinding out Iron Banner every single day. And of course, I have to imagine that Bungie probably didn't allow for that because they didn't want people reaching the max power level too quickly. Which is certainly understandable, but at the end of the line, I don't believe that removing powerful gear entirely from the Iron Banner was really the way to do it. I think when these special events like Iron Banner, like Faction Rally, like Arms Week or whatever that hidden event is supposed to be that we might be getting sometime during the summer, or Solstice of Heroes, whenever those events come around, if they have any sort of element within PvE or PvP, I think that they should have some sort of powerful engram tied to them. Wouldn't it be great if you got to rank 20 in a faction rally and like whichever faction you chose gave you a powerful engram? Or better yet, Destiny 2 is supposed to be the game about showering you with a ton of loot. What if you got a powerful engram every, 10 or so levels? Maybe that's a bit too much for a grinding system in D2, but certainly I think when you reach level 20 or 25, whatever is the level that stops you from getting gear and just gets you shaders after that, should reward you with powerful level gear. And I don't understand why that's not exactly the case. And even when it comes to the winning faction's weapon on the victory week, that should be at level rather than just at whatever base level they give it to you. Unless the winning faction's weapon is already at a powerful engram level. It's been so long since we've had a faction rally, I kind of don't remember. But yeah, when it comes to these events, these week-long events, I do believe that they should have powerful gear tied to them. It's just a much more of an incentive for me to actually run that gear, rather than just running, faction rally for the shaders from New Monarchy and just running Iron Banner to complete the ornaments for my Titan or for my Warlock. Destiny 2 has got a definite, what do I do next after finishing my milestones problem, and I really think that some of these events should tie into that. They should give you additional reasons to come on and continue playing throughout that week. But alright, Guardians, those are just my thoughts on the Iron Banner. I think overall the event is pretty good. I would not be mad if they added Clash back into the rotation for it, especially because, blueberries and all that kind of nonsense. And I really do hope that in future Iron Banners, we can bump up the reward system for them. I see no reason for why Iron Banner shouldn't be able to grant you in-game level rewards anymore. But those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. I hope you Guardians have yourselves a wonderful Memorial Day. I've got the day off, so I'll probably be streaming at some point in time during the day, so make sure you tune in for that. But alright, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest stuff we're putting out. And if you'd like to further support the channel, feel free to check me out over on Patreon. We've got a link down to it in the description box below. Or if you'd like some TBL merch, check out my Teespring storefront down in the description box below. But alright, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.